Carl Jung believed that true love is an invisible connection, often revealed not through big declarations but through subtle, unconscious gestures. When someone mirrors you, it's not just coincidence, it's a reflection of something deeper at work. This behavior is rooted in our mirror neuron system, a part of the brain that drives us to unconsciously imitate those we feel close to. These small acts can say more about hidden affection than words ever could. And this silent imitation is only the first thread in a whole tapestry of hidden affection. Wait until you see how the eyes and memory come into play. If you're fascinated by these hidden signals of love and connection, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more deep dives into human behavior. It's easy to overlook, but when someone unconsciously starts to echo your behaviors, whether it's the way you laugh, the phrases you use, or even the music you listen to, it's not just a matter of spending time together. This is the silent mirror at work. The instinct to mirror, grounded in our brain's mirror neuron system, isn't about conscious choice or flattery. It's an automatic response that reveals how much your presence resonates with them, showing a desire to connect that goes beyond simple agreeability. Mirroring is more than just copying. It's a subtle, almost invisible sign of emotional alignment. Think about it. Maybe you notice someone you're close to gradually picking up your favorite expressions, or they start listening to that odd band you mentioned in passing, even though it never used to be their style. These aren't random quirks. They're clear signals that your world is leaving a mark on theirs. The unconscious mind drives these behaviors, expressing feelings that words can't always reach. Carl Jung believed the unconscious constantly works behind the scenes in instant, unintentional acts like mirroring, showing just how much your presence matters to them. People don't mirror everyone. This instinctive imitation is reserved for those who matter, whether the person realizes it or not. If you notice someone quietly adopting your habits, it's a sign they're attuned to you on a level they might not even recognize. The unconscious doesn't waste energy on people we feel indifferent about. It reserves this kind of silent attention for those who spark something deeper, whether that's admiration, affection, or even love. To make it concrete, picture this. You mention a quirky saying from your childhood, and weeks later, you hear it slip into their conversation as if it's always been theirs. Or maybe you've always had a habit of tapping your fingers on the table when you're lost in thought, and now, without thinking, they do it too. These aren't grand gestures, but they're not meaningless. They're small bridges, built quietly, that bring your world closer to theirs. What's important here is that mirroring isn't about impressing you or putting on a show. It's not a calculated move. Most of the time, the person doing it doesn't even realize it's happening. That's what makes it genuine. It's a reflection of real closeness, a bond that forms beneath the surface, outside of conscious control. Over time, these little echoes can even blur the lines between your identities. You start to see yourself in them, and they in you. That's social bonding at its core. Mirroring is also a form of silent recognition. It's the unconscious mind's way of saying, I see you. I value the details that make you who you are. When someone unconsciously mirrors you, they're not just reflecting your actions. They're absorbing your presence into their own experience. That's why these subtle signs are so telling. They show a willingness to align with you, to let your quirks and preferences influence their daily life. It's easy to dismiss these moments as coincidence, but the truth is they're anything but random. If someone starts picking up your mannerisms, it means they're paying attention. They're not just hearing you, they're listening, internalizing, and letting you shape their world in ways they probably don't even realize. That kind of attention is rare. It's a quiet affirmation, one that doesn't need words to make its meaning clear, and the pattern doesn't stop at behavior. When someone is deeply attuned to you, their mirroring extends into emotions and attitudes. Jung saw relationships as mirrors themselves, places where we reflect each other's insecurities, joys, and hopes. So when you notice someone unconsciously adopting your habits or preferences, It's a sign of appreciation and care that runs deeper than you might think. Here's a key point. Mirroring is most meaningful when you see it as part of a broader pattern. One small act might be a fluke, but when these subtle echoes cluster together, when someone not only mirrors you, but also remembers the smallest details about your life and seems to notice your moods, you're seeing the full architecture of hidden affection. It's not just one behavior, but a whole system of silent signals, each reinforcing the others. That's why it's important to pay attention to these clusters. Mirroring on its own is significant, but when it's woven together with other subtle signs, it forms a much clearer picture of genuine emotional connection. These unconscious acts are the foundation of a secret language, one that speaks volumes even when nothing is said aloud. Of course, mirroring isn't the only silent sign of affection. There are other ways people reveal what they feel without ever saying a word. Sometimes all it takes is a glance, one look that lingers a moment too long, or eyes that dart away the instant you meet them. These fleeting moments can be even more revealing than any spoken confession. And if you've ever wondered why those stolen glances matter, you're about to find out. There's a reason why a quick, sidelong glance can leave such a strong impression. The eyes have always been a powerful channel for emotion, and psychologists have found that even brief, covert looks can trigger more powerful emotional responses than almost any other nonverbal cue. These furtive glances don't just happen by accident. They bypass social filters and reveal feelings that are often too vulnerable or complicated to put into words. When someone looks at you in this way, their eyes are communicating something their voice can't or won't admit. Think about the moments when you notice someone's gaze lingering on you, not in an obvious, direct way, but quietly, as if they're trying not to be caught. Maybe you're in the middle of a conversation with others, and you sense that one person isn't really focused on the topic. Instead, they're watching you. The way you gesture, the way your eyes shift when you're thinking, or the way your laugh changes the energy in the room. Or perhaps you're lost in your own thoughts, and you suddenly become aware that someone is observing you, only for them to look away the instant your eyes meet. It's subtle, but it's charged with meaning. Why do these glances matter so much? It isn't just about politeness or casual observation. When someone quietly studies you while you're distracted or unaware, it's a sign of deep interest, a kind of emotional honesty that words rarely achieve. According to Jung, these furtive glances slip past your loved one's conscious defenses and come straight from the unconscious, showing real feelings their voice won't admit. The person might not even realize they're doing it. Their attention is drawn to you by something deeper, something automatic. And that's what makes these moments so revealing. You might wonder why someone who feels so much can't just say it out loud. The answer is vulnerability. There's a risk in expressing real emotion, especially if you're not sure how it will be received. So instead, the eyes do the talking. They capture every detail, the way you smile, the sound of your laugh, the crease in your grin. These are the small things that someone in love wants to memorize, even if they never say so. It's not just about looking, it's about seeing and wanting to hold on to those details in their mind. This kind of observation isn't casual. It's not the same as the fleeting eye contact you have with strangers or acquaintances. There's a different energy when someone's gaze lingers just a moment too long, or when you catch them watching you from across the room and they quickly look away. There's a quiet intensity in these moments, a silent confession that can feel almost hypnotic. These glances are full of emotion, admiration, curiosity, longing. They're not performed for attention. In fact, they usually happen when you're most yourself, not trying to impress anyone. Imagine you're reading a book, lost in the story, and someone notices the way your brow furrows at a tense moment. Or maybe you're laughing at a joke, and they watch the way your eyes light up. These are not grand gestures, but they're not meaningless either. When someone pays attention to these details, they're expressing something real. Their focus becomes the message. You matter enough for them to notice the things you don't even realize you're showing. What's important is that these furtive looks often happen when you least expect them. The person watching you isn't putting on a show. They're simply drawn to you. Their unconscious mind takes over, and for a moment, their feelings are visible in their eyes. This is why these moments stick with you. They're rare, honest, and unfiltered. Where words can be chosen or masked, a glance like this is hard to fake. It's easy to dismiss these moments as coincidence, but the truth is, they're often the most honest signals of hidden affection. For someone to pause, focus on you, and let their emotions show, even just for a second, takes more courage than most people realize. These glances are not about control or calculation. They're about presence, being so affected by someone that you can't help but watch them, even if you're not ready to say why. As you start to notice these patterns, you'll see that furtive glances often cluster with other signs of hidden affection. Someone who looks at you this way is usually the same person who remembers the smallest things about you, who notices your mood shifts, who picks up on your habits. It's not just about the eyes. It's about the kind of attention that comes from real care. These small, quiet moments build up over time, creating a mosaic of genuine connection. So the next time you catch someone watching you when they think you're not looking, pay attention. It's not just a fleeting look, it's a window into what they might be feeling but can't yet say. And often, the same person who can't help but watch you is the one who remembers the little details you never thought mattered. There's a reason for that, and it's worth looking closer at what their memory reveals about how much you mean to them. Memory, especially when it comes to love, isn't just about what someone can recall. It's about what they choose to hold on to. Research shows that emotionally charged information sticks with us far better than neutral facts. So when someone remembers your favorite childhood song or the stress you felt before a big presentation, it's not just a sign of attentiveness. It's evidence that your words have carried emotional weight for them, becoming bookmarks in their mind. There's something significant about the way people recall details you barely remember sharing. Maybe it's your favorite coffee order, a book you mentioned in passing, or a random story from your childhood. These aren't just bits of trivia you'd think they'd forget. When someone brings them up later, sometimes weeks or months after the fact, it's a quiet signal that you've made an impression. This isn't about having a sharp memory or being polite. It's about prioritizing your thoughts and feelings, making space for you in the middle of everything else competing for their attention. Think about this. You mentioned once, almost as an afterthought, that you're worried about an upcoming work presentation. Then, on the day of the event, you get a text from them wishing you luck or asking how it went. Or maybe you told them about a song you loved as a kid, and out of nowhere, they play it for you on a long drive. These moments aren't accidental. They show a level of care that's hard to fake. It's not about remembering for the sake of it. It's about showing you that your experiences matter. The science backs this up. Our brains are wired to retain information that's tied to emotion. When someone remembers the way you like your tea or the particular shade of blue you're drawn to, it's not because they're collecting facts. It's because you've become important to them. Your presence has emotional significance, so their mind naturally holds onto the details that connect back to you. This is why the smallest memories can feel like the biggest gestures. Jung saw the unconscious as a hidden driver of behavior. When someone remembers your coffee order, it's their psyche holding on to you. It's not a calculated act. Most of the time, they don't even realize they're doing it. Their unconscious mind is paying attention, sorting through the noise and choosing to highlight the things that matter most. This kind of memory is a form of silent admiration, a natural byproduct of genuine affection. You might notice this pattern in the way someone recalls a date you casually mentioned, a preference you shared, or a joke you made months ago. These aren't just nice gestures. They're proof that you occupy a unique place in their mental landscape. People don't remember what doesn't matter to them. If you find someone holding on to the details of your life, it's a sign that you've become part of their story. The real power of this kind of memory is in its subtlety. Most people are forgetful, busy, and distracted, So when someone remembers the little things, it stands out. It feels small at first, almost ordinary, but it's actually rare. It's a way of saying without words, "You're important enough for me to notice." This is not just about being thoughtful. It's about emotional investment. Each remembered detail is a quiet confirmation that you've left a mark. These acts of memory don't happen in isolation. They're connected to the other subtle signs of hidden affection: furtive glances, unconscious mirroring, and the way someone tunes into your moods without you having to say a word. All of these behaviors come from the same place: an underlying attention mechanism that prioritizes you above everyone else. It's a system, not a series of random gestures. When someone truly cares, their whole way of interacting with you changes. They see you, listen to you, and remember you in ways that most people don't. Here's the truth. When someone remembers the details you share, it's a reflection of the same attention that drives them to notice your smallest habits or watch you when you're not looking. It's all part of the same pattern. These are not isolated acts of kindness or fleeting moments of interest. They're interconnected signals, each reinforcing the others. When you look closely, you'll see that memory, glances, and mirroring all stem from a deeper system of care and connection. Pay attention to how these pieces fit together. The person who remembers your favorite snack is often the same one who mirrors your gestures or gives you that quiet, lingering look when they think you're not watching. Each sign might seem small on its own, but together, they reveal something bigger, a pattern that speaks to real affection, even if it's never spoken aloud. Recognizing this pattern is key. These signs aren't just scattered hints. They're a network of behaviors that, when viewed together, reveal the depth of someone's feelings. If you start to notice these consistent threads, memory, attention, and subtle imitation, you might realize you're seeing more than just friendly interest. You're witnessing the system of hidden affection in action. Most people focus on grand gestures or obvious declarations, but the truth is, love is often built on these quiet, consistent acts. When you step back and look at the full picture, you start to see how every remembered detail, every glance, and every mirrored gesture connects. And that's when the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. All these small gestures, mirroring, glances, memory, are nodes in a single network of hidden affection. They don't just happen in isolation. They work together, forming a system that quietly reveals what someone feels, even when nothing is said aloud. This is the real architecture of hidden love. Not a string of random acts, but a web of behaviors, each reinforcing the others. Picture this. You mention offhand that green tea reminds you of winter mornings. Later, you notice someone unconsciously mirroring your gesture as you stir your cup. A few days after that, you catch them watching you, their eyes lingering just a second longer than usual before darting away. Weeks go by, and then, out of nowhere, they bring you a box of your favorite green tea. None of these gestures alone would make you pause, but together, they reveal a pattern, a system at work beneath the surface. This is the core of the system of hidden affection. Mirroring isn't just mimicry. It's a sign that their unconscious is aligning with yours, syncing up in a way that signals closeness. Furtive glances aren't simply about curiosity or politeness. They're the emotional overflow, the moments when their focus on you slips past their social defenses. Remembering small details is never just about memory. It's about emotional investment. When someone holds on to the trivia you'd think they'd forget, it's because every word you say lands with meaning. These are not accidental acts. They're evidence that your presence has become significant to them, whether they realize it or not. Jung taught that the unconscious orchestrates these patterns, quietly guiding behavior to reflect genuine care.